Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Dave and Fraz Sports Talk Show here on the Warrior Network. And today we had the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship on Sunday. We're going to be talking about that today. And Aaron, why don't you start us off with New England versus Jacksonville?
Well, in the AFC Championship, New England Patriots had home field advantage against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jacksonville pretty much controlled the first three quarters of the game as they went up 14-10 going to the half, and they really controlled the tempo the whole time. Leonard Fournette, Blake Bortles played really good games, and Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye played well on the defensive side of the ball for Jacksonville. But in the end, Jacksonville had a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and Tom Brady nonetheless comes back and wins 24-20, throwing it to Danny Amendola for 2 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes remaining. But, no one can doubt Tom Brady's resilience, and this team looks really good heading into the Super Bowl.
And also on the other side in the NFC Championship game, it was Philadelphia versus Minnesota, a game where I thought Minnesota Vikings were just going to come in there. It was going to be easy. They're going to move on to the Super Bowl and play New England. But Philadelphia absolutely dominated Minnesota in that game. Nick Foles with 3 touchdowns, and Case Keenum turned the ball over a lot that game. Also threw a pick 6. And Minnesota just looked flat. They looked like they looked like from last week that the Saints should have been there instead of them.
Yeah. And I will say that I was very impressed by how composed Nick Foles was throughout the entire game. He showed a lot of poise, and I think he proved that with the absence of Carson Wentz that he can lead this team to the Super Bowl and hopefully Super Bowl victory.
Definitely. It's going to be really interesting because this is a Super Bowl rematch, the 14th time we've seen one, and this Super Bowl rematch from 2005, which that's been a while. The quarterback of the Eagles was Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
And that game, of course, the Patriots won. And they're really, in the past couple of rematches, only one team's won in a Super Bowl rematch. So it'll be interesting to see if the Eagles can break that curse and get them a Super Bowl win, which would be the franchise's first.
Thanks, Davis. The NBA has been busy over the past couple of weeks, and starting off on Monday, Bucks coach Jason Kidd was fired after a 24-22 season. Several Milwaukee players, including the Greek Freak, offered, "What can I do to save his job?" Joe Prunty will serve as the interim head coach for the rest of the season. Earlier last week, the Hornets point guard Kemba Walker was put up for a trade, and owner Michael Jordan said he will take only an all-star player for Kemba. Charlotte sits at 19-26, and they're 5 games out of the final playoff spot. Also on Tuesday, the New Orleans Pelicans faced off against the Bulls in a historic night for New Orleans big man DeMarcus Cousins. The 6'11 center recorded 44 points, 24 rebounds, 10 assists, and 4 steals in a double overtime win. The last player to record a 40-point, 20-rebound, and 10-assist game was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1972. The Pelicans won 132-128. And with the NBA All-Star Game coming up, the 2 captains and starters were announced last week. Steph Curry and LeBron James will serve as the captains, and they will be picking of the likes of Giannis, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. And speaking of Kyrie Irving, his Celtics will be taking on the Warriors this weekend in what looks like to be the best game of the week. The Celtics are trying to stop a 3-game losing streak in Oakland, while Golden State is trying to rebound after a loss to the second-place Rockets.
So that'll be all we have for you guys today. Next week we will be talking about Super Bowl preview and some of our predictions. But thank you for watching this episode of Dave and Fraz Sports Talk Show, and we'll see you guys next time.